You want to start a podcast? Spotify for podcasters is the way to go. It's the easiest way to get a podcast started, to turn your idea into a reality. You can start a podcast on your phone or your computer. You can distribute it and even make money on it. All with Spotify for podcasters. Make sure you check it out.
What's up, Rob?
What's good, brother? Thank you for having me, man.
Hey, man, absolutely, man. Hey, I just want to thank you for your time because I'm going to be real with folks, let them know, this is the second time I've come up in here with Ra. I recorded another one with him. We're going to see if we're going to chop some up off that. It's been a few months. I'll be real with y'all. That was October.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot happened with you. So that one we was talking about spirituality a lot, but we didn't get into the music.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because around that time I wasn't like really that focused on music, but now that's where I'm at. So
yeah, you was telling me about a lot of different things you're doing, man. So I'm stoked to have you back and to get you for this one. So I want to make sure that y'all know where to find Ra. First of all, I like to start off with that. How to find you on Instagram. Let them know your Instagram handle that you want to drop out there, cuz.
For sure. So. The Instagram is AhmunRahotep. That's AhmunRahotep official. Same thing with TikTok, although I don't got nothing on there right now. And then you can find me on Spotify and all major platforms. Same thing. AhmunRahotep.
Yeah, that's what's
YouTube
up.
As well. AhmunRahotep official.
Yeah. I love it when you keep it all the same. That way folks can find it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So, like I said, we was talking about the spirituality. And so that might be a good way to branch off into, to talk about the music this time, because one of the things I was talking about last time was how I admire how you're combining, your spirituality and the knowledge that you gained during your lifetime, which is invaluable once you've started on the path, you know what I'm saying? Like once what your path is and started to go down that path and learn, you realize that this knowledge a lot of it's ancient, a lot of it's not easy to come by either, So you've taken a lot that you learned and meshed it together with your music in certain ways. And so we was talking about that last time, but let's get into it though,
Yeah. It's not how I started for sure. Like I was more what you would call maybe a struggle rapper. You know what I mean? Talking about just like what I was experiencing, what I was seeing in my environment. Calling myself broke every 2 songs, you know what I'm saying? Like just like processing all of those experiences. It didn't really start to become more spiritual content until, when was it? I would say when I was like 21. 21 was a big time for me, like a spiritual awakening for me. I was able to start drinking, so I took full advantage of that and was like drinking like every day for a good amount of time. And got to this point where, because I never assumed I would be like alcoholic, because like everybody in my family was alcoholic. And I was like, I had sips of alcohol since a young age. but never was like, I'm not gonna get like plastered and be like drinking every day. That's not gonna be me. I see what's happening. But it was happening to me. Mm-hmm. You know, I was a couple months into being 21 and I was like, damn, bro, I've been drinking every day. I get off of work, I'll drink a 40 and fucking smoke a joint or a bowl and do that every day. I'd wake up sometimes even and be like, all right, my stomach kind of hurts. Let me have some beer. Like that. And I got kind of scared. I was like, damn, is this gonna like take over me? Like, I feel out of control. I feel like I can't stop. So like that fear prompted me to really figure out how to stop. And I didn't just stop drinking alcohol. I mean, I stopped eating meat as well.
Okay.
And I think I even stopped smoking weed for a good amount of time. And I feel like that process of healing, of cleansing that was happening, like I didn't intend for it to be a spiritual experience, but it just naturally is what happened. It's like as you open yourself up, as you clear yourself out, like you naturally just start going on the spiritual path. And I've talked to many people who have had the same experience where they're like, bro, I wasn't thinking nothing about spirituality and chakras and XYZ, all this type of stuff. But as soon as I started fasting, it just all started making sense. Mm-hmm. Started coming into my scope and just my surroundings. And it was like unavoidable. Mm-hmm. So that just naturally, you know, I was a person who raps about my life and what I'm experiencing, what I'm feeling. So I had to figure out how to integrate that. And it was a struggle at first because I was like really trying not to come off as corny and like whack. So
I feel you.
I struggled with it at first, even stopped rapping for a good amount of time. And then when I figured out how to really blend it together in a way that still sounded smooth and still had like that element of hip hop in it, then I was like, all right, I got something different now. Like this is, all right, I'm gonna keep working with this.
Yeah.
That's been the mode ever since.
That's what's up. Where were you living when you were 21?
I was in San Jose.
Okay. Yeah. We was talking about that on the last episode. I'll try to put that one in. But so Ross from San Jose, down in the Bay, you know, South Bay, I'd say. San Jose is, you know. Yeah. And so when did you move up to Humboldt? How old were you?
I was I was 20. Was I 24 or 25? It was 24 or 25. However old I was in January of 2019.
Yeah,
that's when I first came up here. And same thing, wasn't a thing I planned. It wasn't a thing that I didn't think I would be here. You know what I mean? It just what happened.
Yeah,
got pulled into the vortex.
Hey, it happens with folks in Humboldt County, man. People get pulled in somehow, some way, you know, and then stay.
Yep.
Or come back.
Yeah.
But, hey, man, so I know what you're talking about when you was talking about, like, you didn't want to sound, like, corny. Because that's one of the weird things that's been this issue, not in hip-hop, but just in society in general, where, like, when you're talking about something that's potentially either real or some real truth that's been out, especially truth that's been out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it doesn't fit right into the mold of everything that is like, you know, this country that we live, the United States of America, you're going to get marginalized, you know what I'm saying? And I just think back to something that people still will try to make fun of, like Dead Prez, but Dead Prez was talking about be healthy, y'all, right?
Yeah.
You know, they had that track. That type of thing will start somebody down the rabbit hole of truth. And I think it flows back to what you were just talking about, where when you start to get the right things in your body, it all just starts to, the world, the energy just starts to come and go through you in that same fashion, where you got to get better things in your mind and your body once you start eating better, you know, and doing better by yourself. It's just, it's positive growth, you know? Conscious ideals and conscious hip hop has been consistently marginalized. But I just look at Ab Soul's album that he brought out a few weeks ago, last month, Herbert, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've been on Ab Soul since like he did that track with Danny Brown, you know what I'm saying? Like Terrorist Threats, I think it was, you know what I'm saying? They was big on that one, you know.
That's the one that got me too, actually.
Oh, for real? Yep. That video, man. You know, but this concept of like conscious hip hop, I think about it, but then I listen to that Ab Soul album. And I mean, honestly, man, like he's talking about some conscious stuff on that album if you listen to it, you know what I'm saying? And I know that he's been considered, you know, he's been one of those that's been considered like a more conscious MC and everything like that. But the way I see it, like with him dropping it so eloquently and effortlessly in that album, so much knowledge, like it almost feels like it's really been a part of mainstream hip hop. And they're really that whole conscious genre thing. That's like, there can be people that like maybe loop themselves or lump themselves into that, or other people that categorize people as like conscious MCs. But I feel like truth has always been a part of hip hop.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. I mean, look at who's at the top right now. We got Kendrick, we got Cole. Like they both, I think that's also an issue is just how conscious hip hop is defined. Like, I think when people say conscious hip hop and they think conscious hip hop, they think two different things. They think like political, like we talking like Immortal Technique, or they think like spiritual. This person is talking about chakras and like all this type of stuff. But to me, conscious hip hop is just like hip hop with intention. And it doesn't have to be like pretty and like about or political. Like it can be about your serious experience growing up in the hood. That could be conscious hip hop still. So I just think like the whole labeling behind it, it really doesn't allow it to be as broad as it could be.
Facts.
Because that's something I try to do as an artist. Like I try to make as many different kinds of hip hop as I possibly can. And I got like so many different kinds of songs right now under my belt. It's like damn near singing in some of them. Like some of them are a lot more hardcore. And some of them are like super poetical. And I intentionally do that just to let people know like conscious hip hop doesn't have to be like this small thing. Like it can be so many different things.
It's not a specific lane. Like people try to like, it's like there's that energy to just like put it in a lane, but that's not really, I don't feel like a lane is something for like conscious hip hop when that's conscious hip hop is larger than something that's a lane. It's something that's been there. I think that's a part of hip hop too, though, is just consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Like being alert and aware to what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to observe that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's spirituality, like we was talking about. That's hip hop too, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the pillars, right? Of hip hop. It's like for the people who's aware of the pillars, like consciousness is one of them.
We was talking about the Word Humboldt, though. I know you go to Word Humboldt.
Oh, yeah, every week. I'll be here next week.
That's what's up. Shout out to Word Humboldt, yo. I got respect for platforms like Word Humboldt, Redwood Reworded, you know what I'm saying? The groups of people that are creating outlets that allow artists to engage the community, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, they say a lot of money is spent on the arts around here and everything like that. And that's, you know, that's definitely true. But is it congruent with the amount of artists that are like, and what they're doing? Like you got like, you know, the kinetic sculpture race and the large amount of people in the community that are putting on for the kinetic sculpture race, right? And it gets a lot of, you know, when, especially, I mean, when it's happening, the once a year that it's happening, it gets a lot of notoriety. And that makes sense. It's a once a year event. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get a lot of publicity. But hey, like, there's also the hip hop community with, when I look at it, man, I'm thinking there's probably like well over 150 artists and producers out here. And I'm probably way underjudging that number. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, and folks are doing for hip hop and for the community on a constant basis year round. You know what I'm saying? Every month there's a hip hop show. Every like once to twice a month, you know, like there's MCs going down to the Fatbol Cypher. Like once a week, there's the Word Humboldt, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing, you know? So it's like I said, I got respect for Word Humboldt, Dylan, everybody that's been doing it down there and holding it down, because that's a large group. It's a large group. And that's what's dope about Humboldt County is when you got something like Word Humboldt where you can get a lot of folks involved and you actually get the reciprocity in terms of you get artists out there that are willing to put themselves out there, make themselves vulnerable, put their art up there for people to hear. That's not easy, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, shout out to the people that go to Word Humboldt and actually, you know, get up there and put on for people, you know what I'm saying? Because it's this, and I'm not going to try to like apples and orange stuff, you know what I'm saying? But like it takes like the same amount of energy that and courage that it takes to be an MC, to get up in front of people and spit your raps is just it's very similar. It's just without music sometimes. You know, at the spoken word, at Word Humboldt, and sometimes it is with music.
If anything, like it's tougher without the music. It's not uncomfortable for me because I've like had to really step into the power of my voice, having nothing to back me up but my voice. So it's like, but the first time for sure when I tried to like rap in front of people without a beat, I was like, oh shit, it's just me. Like all my little filler words and stuff like that, they're gonna be noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten to the point now I ain't got no filler.
There you go.
Because I'm always just straight the voice. I ain't got no beat. So it's helped my writing a whole lot. And I would actually encourage like rappers to don't think you're above going to an open mic. Go to an open mic, spit, and you know, people will ask you if they like it, like, yo, can I see your Spotify or your SoundCloud? Like, it's a good place to practice and also a good place to connect with people, connect with other artists. Like,
yep.
Open mics, for sure.
Yeah.
Go to them. Even if it's just spoken word and you can't play your beat.
Yep. Yeah. Shout out to y'all that do that, man, because we need more, especially Black, but people of color, period, around here getting their voices out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's got to continue to progress in Humboldt County as this county grows. You know what I'm saying? With there being more diversity coming to Humboldt County, there's got to be, again, these avenues for people to get their stories, their expressions out for this community, you know?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people here who've been here like their whole life might be under the impression like they can't learn something from somebody in this city. Oh, you a city folk, like you don't have nothing to offer. You know, they kind of judgmental towards people from the city when they could be missing out on an incredible story and incredible lessons from somebody, you know, because I feel like anybody who's really coming out here, most people who are coming out here, they got some story. They got something going on, like to even, you know, bring themselves to this place. Like they're on some kind of journey, and I'm sure you can learn a lot from them.
We got folks like you doing shows with Albert.
Correct, yeah.
That looks like a dope one, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I love to see that trajectory of things, you know what I'm saying, where there's more growth and there's more people of color making things happen in Humboldt County, in the hip hop community, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. Go out to that show. I'm trying my best. This should drop before that show, you know what I'm saying? But in case it doesn't, though, I hope you went.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If not, you missed a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, heck yeah.
I don't perform, I prayer for him. So it's like there's a lot of intention with what I'm sharing and how I'm sharing it and how I'm structuring it. Like yeah, it's gonna be a one-of-a-kind experience for sure.
Man, that's crazy. And I mean, that's one of the cool things about hip hop in Humboldt County is like here, you came from the South Bay. You know what I'm saying? One of the dudes I always want to give a shout out to that's put on a lot for the Humboldt HipHopHumboldt podcast is Knack One. He's coming out of the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Flo J is coming out of the Bay Area. Yeah, you know, though, you know, y'all that are like real gems in the community, y'all be doing these shows. FloJay goes to the Fatbol Cyphers, you know what I'm saying? So go out to a Fatbol Cypher and check that. Go out to Word Humboldt and see Ra, you know what I'm saying? And hey, to my understanding, FloJay comes down to the Word Humboldts every now and then too.
He does,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was thinking about something that I saw recently, man. You know, I saw something that really struck me recently on a meme. Hey, I think we was talking last time I saw you about 19 Keys on that episode.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I still, of course, still following 19 Keys. And I saw something recently where he was, you know, he said, think about it like this. Social media is a break from mass media because you can actually cultivate your experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so I see like a lot of people that'll be like, you know, like I'm going to clear my friends list off, or I'm going to do this and all that. And they might feel ashamed. Like, don't feel ashamed about cultivating your experience on these platforms.
Especially if you could. Like, that's my thing too. Like when it comes to social media, my relationship has definitely gotten a lot better with it. One thing that I don't do is I don't go on social media when I first wake up, because like, you know, when you're in that state where you just woke up, you're real susceptible to programming, and you can cultivate your experience for sure. You can choose who you follow, but you can't choose the advertisements. You can't choose all that stuff that pops up.
Yep.
You can't control what's going to be on your feed. You know,
what your friends are saying.
Right. You know, your friend's just tripping this day and he's just all the conspiracy theories out there. And you like, damn, I didn't want to see that. Yep. So, yeah, I just don't even go on social media until I've programmed myself for the day. Then I might go on there. But yeah, that's a good point. Like, we can really cultivate our experience on Instagram. So it's like people will follow me thinking I'm going to follow them back. If I don't like what you posted, I'm not going to.
Yep. Yeah.
Just not
gotta
gonna do
cultivate your right experience, man. Yeah. Nah, it's crucial, man. And you know, people trying to reinforce you really shouldn't just hop straight on your phone when you wake up. That's I just personally think that's not healthy. You know? Yeah,
it's not really if your intention is to control your destiny, is to, you know, steer your ship, go in the direction that you want to go in your life, it's not going to facilitate that. Let's just say that.
Yep. It's true. It's true. That's one thing I'm glad for living in Humboldt County for, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this area does foster that, you know, that type of growth.
It definitely does. And I think that's how I was even able to come out here. It's just like, you know, I started eating better. So therefore, my sensitivity started to increase. And when your sensitivity increases, you start to become aware of all those little subtle things you weren't aware of before. Oh, that noise doesn't make me feel good. Oh, that person doesn't make me feel good. That smell, that this and that. And then you have no choice but to either numb yourself down again so you don't sense the shit, or you got to go somewhere else or figure out how to control your environment. So I tried to control my environment for a while, and it wasn't cutting it. I was like, I got to dip. Well, yeah, back to Nipsey. Shout out to Nipsey. Like, I listened to him a lot in high school, and like the Bullets Ain't Got No Name mixtapes. And he wasn't like talking about the stuff that he, you know, started talking about towards the end of his life, but there was still this level of consciousness within him and awareness within him that like really helped me out a lot. Because I used to listen to a lot of gangster rap, and that would make my mood all fucked. I'm just like wondering why I want to fight people all day. But when I would listen to his music, it was like I started listening to his music like damn near exclusively. Like I was listening to Nipsey like all the time, because it gave me that feel that I liked from the gangster rap that I was listening to, like Dog Pound and fucking Corrupt and all of that. But it had that intelligence within it too that I appreciated from like Pac. So yeah, I feel like he planted a lot of seeds in my head just growing up, and helped me a lot around that high school time. And then when he started like getting on the Dr. Sebi tip, I was like, that's why I was fucking with you. We was on the same path. So the marathon continues.
But I mean, since, you know, like, you know, I got to think about like the positives of like his brother Black Sam is really holding the brand down. You know what I'm saying? Like I myself have been grinding a lot with this podcast, man. And, like oftentimes, man, it's like the marathon continues. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep going. There's more artists to interview about here. Like I was saying, there's over 150, probably over 200, 250 people doing hip hop. Women, too. I want to give a shout out to Zira.
Oh, yeah.
Who'll be out there doing hip hop in Humboldt County.
Yeah. No, I mean, I witness it all the time, which is why I bring the energy of hip hop on that stage at Word Humboldt. Because there was this one night in particular where sometimes I do like my spoken word pieces, which I'll break away from the meter a little bit and play with it more, and then like come back. Like I got this real distinct style with my spoken word. But this time I just did an acapella of a song that I made because it like had a lot of poetical elements in it, so I knew people would appreciate it. And I kept looking out. I don't want to age people, but they looked up there, older white couple, and they was digging it, like just smiling ear to ear, and like I feel like they was actually catching the bars that I was putting out. And it just goes to show, like you said, like people just don't know because they haven't been exposed to it. You could say, "Oh, I don't like hip hop." That's like saying, "I don't like fruit." Right? How many varieties of fruit are out there? You telling me you tried every single kind of fruit and you don't like one of them? I feel like it's the same with hip hop. Somebody can say, "I don't like hip hop." Have you heard all the different kinds of hip hop? Even just with one artist, you might like at least one of their songs. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's true, man. Hey, I think that's a bar. And when you've tried all the different fruit and you still don't like any of them, at that point, right, then don't we delineate that as you have like a taste bud problem?
Yeah, you got an issue. Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, that's true, man. And so the hip hop community, to be real honest with y'all, it's growing.
Oh, yeah. And we just got I didn't get to hear the major announcement at the last Cypher, but we got some interesting things coming, right?
Yeah, the Humboldt Hip Hop Congress just started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you know. Of course, you know Goldilocks. You know what I'm saying?
I just went to the skate last week. Or no, that was this week. No, it was last week. That was fun.
He's always DJing the skate events. Yeah, that was fun. The adult skate. That's what's up. Shout out to Goldilocks. Goldilocks is on the Humboldt Hip Hop Congress board too.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because he's been holding this
shit down.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on there to take the skills that I have with this social media shit and all this content and all this and all that, and to support the Congress and to the hip hop scene like I've been doing.
I think you're a perfect fit for it, brother.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this hip hop Congress thing is going to grow this area, help grow hip hop in this area. And so I love to see it and I love to support it. When you see that Hip Hop Congress on Instagram or Facebook, or you see some events with the Humboldt Hip Hop Congress, come out. You can come out, sign up for it, you know what I'm saying, and get the newsletter so you know what the group is doing. Because we're organizing every single week to try to make sure that the right things happen. Because, hey, this is 50 years of hip hop this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the 50th anniversary of it. Damn. And so, like...
You're getting old, hip-hop.
For real. Folks got to make sure they're paying respect to the elders, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And that's why I'm glad to see this Hip-Hop Congress, because the plan is to make events happen this year in celebration of that 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
It's only right, you know? And so I love to see it. I love to see the growth in the community. I love to see more people going out and supporting Word Humboldt, because that, to me, I feel like since Word Humboldt started, it's just been on a constant growth. And I know you've seen it because you go and there's all, you know, hey, it's Humboldt County, so there's always going to be like, you may go one time and there's not a lot of people, especially when it's a weekly event. But let me tell you what, that Word Humboldt has been on the grow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got a festival coming up too.
Another one? That's what's up. I saw April. One last year. Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. The annual. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What you doing for that one? You're not doing that?
I mean, no, I'm definitely going to be probably involved in most, if not every day. I'll be involved. That's for sure. I'm going to be doing poetry. I'm going to be doing music. Maybe other things. I don't know. We'll see.
That's what's up. Hey, and also in addition to Word Humboldt, another group that I got to make sure that I give a shout out to for putting on for the community so well and so eloquently over these last few years is Black Humboldt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, I got to give a shout out to Monique D, who's no longer in the area, but she was a founder and she was great. She did great work. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of folks that's involved with Black Humboldt. So there's a lot of names, but I definitely want to make sure I give shout outs to Mo, D, and also Andrea. You know what I'm saying? Because she's doing a lot.
Yep. Shout out to my sister. All love.
Yeah. All Love's been doing it around. To my understanding, All Love's been around. You know, she was raised around here. So she's been putting on for the community a lot. So shout out to Andrea. I love seeing y'all. I love seeing when I see flyers and I see you and your brother on there. I'm like, okay, they know. That lets me know that event is, for lack of a better term, knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that. Yeah. I'm actually going to be having the opportunity to record a lot of music because I'm going to be house sitting, and it's actually where I recorded the same house I recorded one of my latest, actually, Spotify single, Ashe. I recorded that over at my friend's house. And I'm about to be there for like damn near a month. And the goal is to record one song a day. So, you know, in theory, I could have at least like 15 singles by the end of my stay there. And I want to drop a single like every 2 weeks. Maybe not on Spotify every 2 weeks, because that might get expensive.
Yeah, for real.
If I develop that budget anytime soon, for sure. But yeah, I want to put out something like every 2 weeks at least, starting from March on forward. So there's gonna be a lot of singles, maybe even a mixtape coming soon.
Hell yeah!
I say like maybe around my birthday, which is like March 25th.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll have a mixtape out by then.
Dope.
And hopefully an album by the end of the year. But right now I just been steady working on new poetry because I'm getting ready to compete for getting on the slam team.
Oh, sick.
Because we
good luck.
Plan on
got that though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to like, you know, write my best poetry so I can go out there and represent for Humboldt. Because we're gonna go up to Portland for an event. What's it called? The Bigfoot Slam. And it's like the Portland, Washington, Northern Cali area, maybe some other places too. But yeah, just a big slam event with all these different poets, and I always wanted to be part of a big event like that. So
that's dope.
That's gonna be, you know, coming up soon. So I'm working on a lot of poetry, but also I've been making just next level songs. I don't even know what to do because I got like so much songs I'm already sitting on that I want to put out. And I'll probably put those out first just so I can get them out the way. But it's like, yeah, the stuff I've been writing recently has been, my style has evolved a lot. And like it continues to evolve and continues to surprise me. But the one that I'm most excited about is I wrote this, when was it, 2 days ago or 3 days ago? On Thursday. And so without giving too much away from the song, like, and I didn't even intend to do this when I first wrote it. Like, it was a song for healing, though. Like, a lot of the grief that I experienced in 2022 that I didn't realize was so stuck until this night, until Thursday. And so I started writing to this beat that was, like, really triggering those feelings. And, yeah, it came out with a really beautiful song. And the first verse is about a particular situation, a particular person. And the second verse is about somebody else. But what I realized I could do was I used the same rhyme scheme and even the same like words when I rhymed, but I switched around some of the content within it to fit the situation. And I was like, oh shit, that actually really works. Then I did the same thing for the third verse, and it was like towards myself. So like it just was this really healing song on like different levels. And I know for people, they're going to be able to relate it to different experiences. So I'm really excited about that song. I'm thinking about actually doing like a workshop around it. Because that's something else I'm like venturing into, is like facilitating people's creation. So I feel like, you know, giving people that format for creating a song that's super healing. Because it's been super healing for me. I've been practicing it almost every day. And it lets me know where my grief is like still stored in my body. Because I'll get to a certain part and just start fucking crying and be like, all right, well, I gotta finish this song. That's my goal when I start practicing. It might take me 5 times to do it because I'm gonna cry at 5 different points. But once I get through it, it's like I just moved all that grief through my body. And that's been actually a big reason of why I've been feeling so good as well recently, is because of that grief work. And I've never really done grief work before. Like, I've done, I guess you can say like breath work and stuff like that is like grief work, but like actually looking at my grief and analyzing it and like being intentional about it. I've never done that before, and especially never with hip hop. So yeah, I feel like I don't even know what's going to completely come out of this new venture that I'm exploring, but it's almost like hip hop therapy. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to see where that goes.
That's dope, man. I'm excited to follow you on that one. Hip hop is definitely therapy, man. Like, when you start to like really accept it as that, then I think for me, it really changes everything. Like, it takes off a lot of edge of like, so looping back to something you was talking about earlier, how, like when you listening to a whole lot of just like, let's just say gangster rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, then makes you like amped up. And like that's what they say about like, like that they try to say like, like we'll drill, we'll do that. That's why folks be going out there and doing stuff and everything like that. And like, I think that the energy that you put out there in the world really matters. And if your intention, if you don't have an intention, energy is going to take you and roll you.
Yeah, it's going to take you where it wants to take you.
But when you have the intention of like, okay, so like hip hop is actually therapy for me. For me, like I've always been one to listen to lyrics. I've been one to write lyrics. Back in high school, I was writing lyrics, never did anything with them. You know what I'm saying? That was just me, you know what I'm saying? But like my mind was always on the lyrics. But like if you haven't been a lyrical person and then you start to see and accept hip hop as like therapy, then that becomes a natural part of it to like, okay, I'm gonna like listen to what they're talking about. Like that comes with it. And it's easier once you've accepted it as medicine. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to see any of this when you haven't. Hip hop is not just this like, negative thing. It's more than that. It's all really about like what perspective you're looking at hip hop at. Are you like coming from like, I'm going to accept hip hop, I'm going to, respect hip hop, or not? And until you're there, you really can't see any of the benefits, the beauty, how it's helping people. You can't see none of that.
Yeah. That goes for a lot of things. But yeah, certainly for hip hop. Mm-hmm. And also, if you've never really been, introduced into, even beyond getting introduced, I mean, shit, you gotta want to hear it. Yeah. So it's like how to get people to want to hear it. Sometimes you just got to get people to hear it.
It's true. It's very true.
Give them no choice.
Mm-hmm. Got to play some good shit for them. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times I think too, people get subject to like, just what's on the radio / what's popping and everything like that. And that's not always. It's definitely not. I don't go out there looking for music to like, let me just find like what's popping or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not. Because what's popping usually is not it doesn't fit, what I'm looking at. I would say that that Ab-Soul album was popping and popular, you know what I'm saying? So, folks was looking for that. So it all depends. But like Kendrick, with Mr. Morale, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he did something that was fresh in terms of a lot of the content and the topics he was talking about and how they even like went down in his own life, like that's not something that you see artists do when they get to like Kendrick's level.
Yeah, no, I was actually really impressed with his level of transparency on that project. Like, there was actually one song that got me, man. I was like, God damn, oh shit. It's like he touched on some really, he went there.
Yeah,
he fucking went there. I was like, damn. And he did that with his other project too. And what I appreciate about him too is like, I don't know if people catch everything that he says. You know what I'm saying? He's sly. He slips some things in there that if you got more knowledge, you know exactly what he's talking about. It's like, oh damn, that's controversial. But he says it in a way where most people wouldn't get it, so he gets away with it. And I appreciate that because that's my same style. It's like you're not gonna get that line that I just made against the, but if you know, you know.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I appreciate that about that album.
Yeah. Shout out to Kendrick. You know, he's changing things in terms of not with Top Dog anymore. You know, he left Top Dog Entertainment, but he's holding it down for PG Lang, him and his nephew, Baby Hakeem. You know, they be really... I mean, I only see Kendrick continuing to do more of the same that he's done in his career, which is break boundaries, you know... Kendrick ain't dropping every year, you know, because that's not him. He's got to build up something dope. You know, and that's what I like seeing too. Like I may miss a Kendrick drop in between, you know, a Kendrick drop in between Kendrick drops, but you know you're gonna get something dope, you know. And then separately too, man, like real quick on talking about CDE, you know, Kendrick just left, but we've been talking about that Ab Soul album, man, and like really, I think Ab Soul just showed us that even without Kendrick, Top Dog is still gonna be doing just fine, man.
Yeah, no, they are. And like I appreciate that he kind of returned to his roots on that project, you know, with the wordplay and just a more deep introspective, like not caring so much that people aren't gonna get it. Like I appreciated that because that's the stuff that I like. I like digging. I like catching that thing and feeling like special because I'm like, oh, I know nobody else caught that or not many other people caught that. So I was digging this album for sure.
What you've been listening to other than, you know, making your music, that's one of the dope things about artists, man, is that like, you know, a lot of the times artists are so busy making their own music that I really like to hear when y'all have the, you know, free time that y'all have, which is so slim, to listen to other people's music, you know, like saying like, who are you listening to? So what you've been listening to like the last like 6 months to a year?
Honestly, I mean, I listen to music when I'm at work and I'm doing the dishes, and that's about it, bro. And it's a playlist of a lot of different artists. Man, who would be like the most played? Probably, I think Nipsey's up there on my top plays.
That's what's up.
Who else? Saba.
Yeah.
Saba's like definitely one of my favorite rappers right now.
Yeah.
Who else is on there?
You fuck with Shmino?
I fuck with Shmino. Yeah, Shmino's on there.
Heck yeah.
Got some Cole songs, got Kendrick. And then this artist, Free Soul. It's more of a, what you would call conscious rap. But it's like, it's got the trap vibes to it, but conscious lyrics. And I like it because like I like that energy, I like that frequency. I get why people like that, and I've even been making stuff with more of that frequency, but like trying to put the intelligence within it and a positive message in it. Because I was noticing the other day, because I turned on my music after one of my coworkers was listening to music, and he was listening to like most of the songs he was listening to. They was either misogynistic or talking about killing black people, killing our own kind type shit. And so then I put on my music afterwards and like it was none of that. Like You know, it's in there, it's slipped in there, but for the most part, like that's not the vibe and the frequency I'm trying to cultivate. Mm-hmm. And it's no disrespect to that either, because you know I grew up listening to that too, and it's definitely there on my playlist, but it's not every song,
right?
You know. And my coworker, she came back and she was like, you know, I really appreciate the music that you're playing. Like, it was getting hard, you know, being called a bitch all day, and you know, like this and that. And I was like, yeah, nah, for sure. Like, I have an awareness of like who's in my environment, and I feel like hip hop, unfortunately, it's been co-opted and you know incorporated and all of this, and the message that sells is degrade your women and talk about killing each other. That's what we're gonna stand behind and put the money behind, because that funnels more money into our pockets because we got investments in other places too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, like, having hip hop that's still hard, that's still dope, that still feels, it gets you amped up, but we ain't, you know, talking down on women and we're not talking about killing each other. Like, that's the kind of music that I look for. And I don't see it the way I want it seen in a lot of ways. So that's why I make it. And until I see it on a regular basis, the way that I'm wanting to hear it, I'm going to keep doing it. The day it's like, oh, you know, we got a bunch of artists doing it now, I'm more hearing what I want to hear, then that might be the day where I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to take a step back and let y'all carry it forward.
That's what's up. Yeah. Hey, man, it's important. It's really important to, you know, like progress things during your lifetime. And I think that one of the things that you've done is try to drop knowledge for people to support their growth. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that folks, once they find you, they're going to see that and they're going to want to continue to follow you because you're dropping knowledge that's supporting their growth. You know, like, you know, one of the things on Kendrick's album, Good Kid, Mad City, one of the skits, right, was some folks and they're sitting with grandma or somebody and she's like, y'all need holy water. You know, like a lot of the times people really need that in their life, but you only have so many different ways to get it, you know, and you may only have so many different things that you're into. And if you're into music, like a lot of people are, like I am, like you are, you know what I'm saying? That's one of your main ways to really get any kind of messages, you know? So to be honest with you, man, like I've seen people do, you know, like, you know, mix spirituality and hip hop. But the way you're doing it and the way it's coming off, I haven't seen it before.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Around here, you know, there's going to be people that are more receptive to it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that if they find you and see what you're doing, like, to be honest, yeah, you know, like you're supposed to like people's posts. Y'all don't be liking all the posts on my stuff and on other people's stuff that I see. That's just the algorithm and social media and everything like that. But I know that once y'all start to work with Ra, join those classes, learn from them, like y'all are going to want to come back because you see the value in the knowledge and the growth.
Just don't come back too much, because that means you didn't get it. Unless you want to just, you know, hang out with me for sure.
Yeah. You definitely got to learn it and then implement it.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm all about. I want people to, you know, take it with them and continue.
Mm-hmm. And definitely don't come back just to expect or be entitled, because this is real knowledge. And so you got to be respectful if you really trying to learn.
Absolutely. I'm learning every day.
My outlook is if you're not learning, and then you're not growing, and if you're not growing, you're only dying.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
if you ain't growing, you slowing.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, man, for what you're doing for the community.
Thank you, brother. Likewise.
Thanks, man. Hey, let's make sure that, you know, when you are about to drop some music this year, come back through. If we can get your brother in here, we'll do it. We should be in the better office the next time, for it and everything like that. But I appreciate you coming out on this beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day, and you didn't have to spend it with me and telling these stories, man. But I appreciate you.
Hey, I got a lot out of it. I enjoyed it, and yeah, grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, cuz. Yeah. Till next time, y'all, make sure y'all tune into the Hip Hop Humboldt podcast, HipHopHumboldt.com.